In Uganda, insurance is often misunderstood. For many families, especially those with low incomes, it is seen as a luxury for the rich. When survival depends on daily earnings, paying for protection against any unseen future feels very unnecessary. But poverty in Uganda is rarely caused by laziness or lack of ambition. More often, it is caused by one unexpected event, one stress illness, one road accident, one death in the family.
My professor always told me that life is what you make it, but always pray that fate does not be so unfair to you. And this is where insurance comes in.
In a country where many households depend on a single income earner, such events do not just create grief, they create financial collapse. Savings disappear, land is sold, children drop out of school, businesses close, years of effort vanish in weeks.
Now, for a layman understanding about insurance is just protection of the future. Like, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You don't know what's going to unfold one day in the future. That's what insurance does. Protecting fate from you, the brutality of fate from you. It could be accidents, it could be losing property, it could be fire, it could be anything, it could be education, it could be life. Insurance comes in to protect that for you. So if you're the kind of person who wants to protect your legacy, protect your dream, protect your property, protect your kids' future, protect your future, it could be you could want to do a vacation after retirement. Insurance helps you do that. So guys, in big cities like Kampala, Jinja, the big cities Entebbe, Fort Portal, crossing even all the way to Kenya and everything, insurance is a very big deal, especially if you're really into protecting what you've built, protecting what you're going to build. Insurance comes in because anything can happen. So many new taxes can come up, so many hikings, inflation nowadays keeps growing every day. So insurance is the only thing to go to. Now, to better understand insurance, please, I talked to a person who is a very big expert in risk management, and she's been working with a big insurance company here in East Africa called ICA Lion. And she will let you know what really insurance is. So listen to her.
Insurance is not for the rich. It's for everyone. As long as you have the ability, to at least, earn an income. Go for a policy that at least is affordable to you, but have some bit of protection or fallback position. It's not only for people we look at people who are wealthy who have insurance. No, it all just comes back from what do I have. Let me start from the little that I have, and I build on it. So everybody needs at least to have an insurance policy. As a friend of mine told me, we are now in the second millennium. So now that means the kind of life that we live is different from the life that people lived in the 90s. Families have now become so internal that my needs are the needs of my family. I might not be able to support my brother or my sister's family. So you find that life is now shifting to a more of a nuclear setting. So you have to prepare that you should know that your children have you to depend on. And the legacy that you leave is what will speak of what you've been doing all your life. And you don't have to leave a legacy when you own it. Even if you're still alive, there should be something to show, for the years you've worked.
Insurance, when properly understood and used, can interrupt this cycle. Health insurance protects families from the kind of hospital bill that destroys stability. When sickness strikes, treatment is covered and the family's future remains intact. It does not make a family wealthy, but it prevents them from sinking deeper into poverty. Life insurance carries an even deeper purpose. In many Ugandan homes, if the breadwinner dies unexpectedly, the consequences can be devastating. School fees stop, rent becomes impossible, children are forced to depend on relatives or, in some cases, abandon their education entirely. A life insurance policy ensures that even in death, responsibility continues. It provides financial support that can keep children in school, protect property, and give family time to recover without losing everything.
Now, for a long time, very many people have had misconceptions about insurance. Many think insurance is only for the rich. Insurance is only gotten when you get a very high paying job or working with the government or working with a very recognized institution that offers insurance for health. But insurance cuts across so many things. There's motor insurance, health insurance, insurance that insures dreams, education insurance for those who want to make sure that their kids' futures, even if they're not there, even if life cuts them short, their kids will still achieve their dreams. That is what insurance comes in. Insurance plays a big part in very many different sectors. But many people have had misconceptions about insurance. Many think insurance is very expensive. Insurance is only offered when you're working with a company. Insurance is only offered when you're working with a government job. But guys, please, this is very wrong. This is what insurance really is.
Instead of scrambling for school fees at the last minute, parents can save readily for their children's future. Instead of relying only on unpredictable income, families can build structured savings that grow over time. These tools introduce discipline, stability, and planning, elements that are often missing not because people are careless, but because they lack structured financial systems. The fear surrounding insurance in Uganda is not entirely unfounded. Stories of delayed claims, poor communication, and past fraud have damaged public trust. Yet insurance itself is not the enemy. When regulated properly and chosen wisely, it becomes a strategy, a way of sharing risk so that one person's tragedy does not destroy an entire family's future. The real question may not be whether the poor can afford insurance, it may be whether they can afford the consequences of facing life's uncertainty alone. Because for families climbing slowly out of poverty, protection is not a luxury, it is a foundation.
Now, don't get me wrong, so many of you are just like me when I first began. When I first began hearing about insurance, I only thought insurance was just about health because all my life I have been treating my illnesses using cards, like insurance companies paying for my illness. Now, that's the only thing I knew about insurance, but I got to realize that insurance cuts across. Insurance can protect your dreams. Insurance can protect your education. Insurance can protect your property. Insurance can protect your legacy. There's so many people who have big businesses. It could be like a club, it could be real estate, it could be agricultural business, it could be tech business. So many of these can be protected by insurance. That is now on the side of legacy. Now, for you to basically understand the importance of insurance, you must first understand that the brutal reality about life is that today we know what is happening because it's happening right now, right? But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And that is what insurance really comes in. Insurance comes in to protect the future, to predict, to help you protect what could happen in the future. Anything can happen. You could build a property in town and fire catches it and then it just goes off like that. You could be a border rider and every day you're moving day to day and earning your daily earning, but today or tomorrow you get an accident. Insurance protects you will protect your health, will protect your bike in case it's stolen, in case it gets fire. It can replace that. So to better understand insurance, please listen to what she says.
I think when it comes, let's take an example of a Ugandan setting. Even us as human, like us the individuals, when you approach someone to take up an insurance policy, the first thing they'll run to is to ask you, what is your minimum? So that is the biggest mistake we look at. We look at having that, low limits because we do not want me to pay a bigger premium. That is the biggest mistake that most of us get into, and even to businesses, they tend to get into that bit of, they also get in that bit of swam of them asking for what is the lowest I can pay, without actually considering which cover am I getting, what do I stand,
or what do you want to protect?
Yeah, what do I want to protect?
What do you want to achieve?
Yeah, then of course other businesses, the other biggest mistake is when it comes to documentation. Most of when it comes to businesses or the insurance that involves a business, documentation has to be key because insurance has a principle that we follow, which is utmost good faith. That at the beginning you have to declare material facts that you as a client and me as an insurer, we have to declare the facts about the contract we are getting into. Should we hide anything from each other, it will cost us during the claim stage.
Now, we live in a fast-growing economy. Every day you wake up, there could be new technology, infrastructure. Nowadays, there's AI being embraced in everything, in tourism, in technology, in hotel management, transport, everything. One day you could wake up and there's a new tax. Every day you wake up, there's something new. So this is the reason that's why you can't really do without insurance. Now, to basically bring it to a more relatable situation, let me tell you what would happen to a border rider just in case he got an accident without being insured. First of all, if you got an accident and he gets really dangerous illnesses or bruises or something that is very fatal, first of all, many of these borders live on daily earnings. If you don't work, you don't eat, right? Then again, secondly, most of them don't have savings because life is very expensive. education alone for their kids is very expensive, and many of them have a lot of kids. Now, if a border gets an accident and is not insured, what is going to happen is this. First of all, he can't pay his health bills, which means he's going to go on debt to ask for money to pay for his health bills. Then, secondly, in case his motorbike is really damaged, meaning he can't replace it, like where's the money? Where's the 6 million or 7 million or 10 million to replace a bike? It's not there, right? So what is going to happen is, first of all, he's going to be in a hospital on debt. He's going to lose his bike. His kids won't be able to go to school because he won't have tuition. Then again, secondly, he won't be able to pay rent. Then he won't be able to feed his family. So it's like when you get an accident, everything comes crumbling down. Unless you're going to really deal in debt, like get debt from everyone to pay your bills. Now, when you have, let's say this happened when he got insurance. Now, if it's insured, like health-wise and motorbike-wise, the moment he's insured and got an accident, first of all, he can pay his health bills without stress. Then, secondly, they'll get for him a new bike without stress. That's what insurance does. Like, it protects your future in case of anything happening, in case of any obstacle, in case of any unfortunate thing happening. Insurance comes in to replace that for you. And that's the reason that's why insurance cannot be something people can do without in today's economy.
There's a client of mine who passed on. Totally, he was a very young boy. I think at around, he had made 26 years. That was around August last year, 2024. But this is someone I'd spoken to, I think, in the morning. And then they got into, that was a young guy, was into this electricity transmission and all that. So they'd gone to Eastern Uganda with their friends, think they'd gone to work. And then they got into a car accident, and their car burnt to flames. So imagine this boy he has a young family. The girl had just given birth, to twins and all that. So to me, when you get that call as a person in insurance, it's really touching. You're like, oh my God, this is now the reality of life. And the beauty about it is that when it comes to claims, at least for me, the claims I've handled with ICA, they've not been tedious. They've been efficient. They've been quick to pay out. And I believe the people have been at least, they've been compensated. At least the families have been able to get some financial support. So you find that when you look at a young life being lost in that kind of way, and you have the ability to to be there and be of help, to me that is something that it's fulfilling, I would say. Then the other claim, it wasn't necessarily my claim, but it was somebody we interacted with. When you go to the field, you meet different people. So we interacted with this lady, and she was very jolly, so welcoming. She was into retirement, but because ICA paid her first policy, so when she retired, she decided to open up a clinic because she was a nurse. So when ICA paid her first claim, she got her money. Because the money was paid, she enabled her to go into a comfortable retirement. So she started by opening up a clinic. So she was like, I'll not stop. Because ICA has fulfilled my dream, I'll still open up another policy. But of course, as life may have it, she didn't live to see this other policy mature. But the testimonies should, in fact, you find that there's a market, that there's a place you go to and you find someone, a client is satisfied. The testimonies would draw many people at least to open up or take up insurance policies. So when she passed on, and then ICA was like, because we knew she had become like, someone that you could easily go to. And if you're just passing by her area, you just go and say hello, because when she just hears ICA, she just welcome. So when she passed on, and ICA was there, to cover the burial. At least the daughter that she had daughter was still at university, but there's money because from the second policy she took on, though she was in retirement. At least the girl was sure that the mother had built, there's money that would enable this girl finish school. So that was something that, at least to me, for the years I've been in journalism, for the people that touched my life. And then of course the other claims that we see. Some, of course, they do not die. Some get into accidents and they're not able to work. So when you see insurance coming in, to stand with that person, imagine a young person gets into an accident with the nature of career that they have, they're not able to continue. But at least if you find that we come in, compensate them to that point, at least they start on something else. That is something at least I've been able to appreciate, that at least we are there. And we are there to deliver on our promise as people who are into this industry of insurance.
I want you to take a clear look on the structure of education. Now, let's not ignore this. This is something we see every day. Every day, education, tuition, and school fees keeps increasing. Requirements and everything keeps increasing. Nowadays, for you to take your kid to a really good school, you must spend about like 5 million or 4 million minimum. For you to know that your kid is actually getting quality education, at least in Uganda here. Now, most parents, this is sad to say, most parents have a lot of kids, very many kids, and then you don't have like a stable source of income. Like, let's say a lot of income coming in. So which means that just in case of anything happening, you will disappear and your kids won't be able to go to school because you maintain a very high class for your kids. Because very many parents don't have really constant cash flow, but even if you sit home, your money is coming in. Very many parents are dealing in jobs and all that stuff. Now, this is the part where I want parents to fully understand something about education insurance. Please, if you have so many kids and you don't have really like a solid income base, let's say you could be having real estate, you could be having a very big business outside your job, you need to do education insurance, because this is what happens in case of anything. Let's say maybe you got an accident and you can't work anymore, or you lost your job, or of course you lost your life. I mean, this is life. Like we're born to die. So you need to do education insurance. Now, this is what happens. When you do education insurance, you're sure that your kid will always be in school. In case whatever happens, your kid will be in school. It's just the same thing. Very many parents spend a lot of money on alcohol and on buying things that aren't really relevant, just to prove a point to very many people. But if you put that money into education insurance of your kids, you're very sure that in the future, even if education, tuition, or school fees really increases or hikens, your kid will be able to go to school because these insurance companies will pay for that kid, because that is what you did. Like, you insured your kids' education. They won't stress you in the future. You can insure them for 5 years or 10 years, 9 years. This is what people need to do as parents. Now, to better understand education insurance, please listen to what Florence Apio is going to tell you guys.
That you have a child that you know, most of us parents are with our children, and you want the best for our children. So you want that whether I'm there or not, as I'm pursuing other things, at least I know that the bit of education is covered. So I take out an education policy, because you look at the school fees is increasing every day. And when it comes to that time of going to school, look at how as parents we are stressed. So you look at also the bit of the peace of mind. So if you look at those two things, the increasing costs of education, the uncertainty in life, you know what tomorrow will bring, and also the peace of mind you want to enjoy as a parent, you opt for an education policy. So how does this education policy work? You basically look at this child that has this child, as of course you have to first save, and then insurance pays out school fees later on, depending on the number of years you've taken out. Because you might say, maybe today I have a 3-year-old. So you find a 3-year-old child is already, maybe these days they're in baby class. So this child has 3 years to do nursery school and of course finish nursery. Then this child has 7 years for primary. They have 6 years for secondary. And comes to university, they have a minimum, let's say, of maybe 3 years for any university degree. So me as a parent, I can say, okay, to every level of my child's education, let me take out an insurance policy. So you can say, so let me take out a 10-year policy, basically targeting for secondary or maybe university, depending on how much money I'm going to save. So our education policy has 2 phases. It has the phase which we call the premium payment phase, whereby a parent is saving money with the insurance company. And then when you're finished saving and the number of years you've chosen are done, insurance now pays out school fees or pays back the money that you've been saving with it to the school of your choice.
Now, guys, if you've come this far, please let me know what you thought about insurance. What were your perceptions? And please leave a comment down below on, just maybe you could say thank you or something. Just leave a comment down below and put a like and share the video. Please, people need to understand something about insurance. In case you want comfortability, of course, very many people want comfortability in life. You have to really understand insurance and go for it. It's not expensive. You pay what you can. It's just what it is. So, guys, if you come this far, please subscribe, like, comment, share, and tell a friend that this here is about value on Click as well. So, subscribe, and yeah, guys, I love you all. Ciao.